So over the week, we've had a lot of statements about race in this country, specifically the idea of what we have to do about immigration. And both Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson decided that they were going to throw their hat in the ring, comment on the issues, right? And specifically, they decided to make comments about the Great Replacement, which, if any of you guys don't know, the Great Replacement was this white nationalist conspiracy theory that the Democrats or the Jews or the elites or the whoever's were organizing the mass replacement of white people in the United States, take over, right? Take over politically or take over in some manner. And both of them basically just said the talking points verbatim. So I'm going to share the screens quick. So
Can I say before you do that, though, I read a study where like white people are going to be the minority at the rate that things are going. It was like,
and then we're going to see more of those Antifa moments where they're like, haha, you're white. We're going to, those you're white memes are going to spike on Twitter. And that's truly when Martin Luther King will shed his final tear. He'll roll in his grave. Yep.
Go ahead.
So let's check out the clip.
Of course, that's a lie. We know that's not true.
The fuck? Not working on
pictures of people.
Wait, I see it.
A paper that says, "Please help us. I do not speak English. What bus do I need to take? Thanks for your help." As they get released into the interior of the United States. Bill Maluzhin is saying they are releasing entire family units into the United States. Now, some people are saying I'm being too harsh on Texas. Well, Texas, whether they like it or not, are front and center, smack dab in the middle of the great question of our time, which is, who runs the country?
Who?
What do you do when you start to have a apathetic tyrant, now apathetic when it comes to immigration law, but very engaged when it comes towards forcing vaccinations? What do you do? I know so many amazing patriots in the great state of Texas, and I love Texas, that have been waiting and are willing for this moment. Deputize a citizen force. Put them on the border. Give them handcuffs.
Deputize a citizen force. Look, okay, I don't know if he watched a little too many John Wayne movies, and he's like, you know what? We got to get out there. We got to get them. Just start putting stars on the like
with the straw in their mouth and shit.
Yeah, I just watched Clint Eastwood's Hang 'em High like 20 times over. It's like we should just do this on a mass level on the border. What we need to do is get a bunch of people who don't have professional training, who don't have a background in law enforcement, who have no
probably racist,
possibly racist. We have no clue, right? If you're gonna deputize this massive force, I don't know how. What type of background check you're gonna do? Just deputize a ton of people and put them on the border with firearms, right? Across from the most vulnerable people on the planet, people who are fleeing earthquakes, gang violence, and economic collapse.
Unreal, bro.
It's a brilliant idea. Straight out of the 1800s.
How does militia shits work in the United States?
This doesn't really happen anymore from what I know. I haven't seen this happen in the modern history of the United States. I see it happen I watch a lot of Westerns. I see it happen in Western movies, okay?
Right.
Like maybe this is something I'd expect like Clint Eastwood to say.
In the fucking 1700s.
Or like maybe in the 1880s in like Oklahoma. Right? Or when Oklahoma was a territory, right? If we're talking about like back in the day. But there's no reason to do that today. And it would just put people at risk. Not only the most vulnerable populations, but the people with no training, these people you've deputized. They're also going to put professionals at risk who are now going to have to babysit a bunch of like clueless dimwits who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, now you got to send someone over to watch over them. Sure they're not
Brilliant.
Acting a fool.
Brilliant idea,
bro. But it's just like this. What's scary is that this is like mainstream conservatism, or is Charlie Kirk mainstream? He's pretty mainstream.
Charlie Kirk is the president of TPUSA. Has a massive show. He was pretty prominent with the president of the United States. Yeah, he's pretty mainstream conservatism. Yeah.
And he's also Vosh's friend.
Him and Vosh are close personal friends. I heard they did go on a date, but it didn't go well, and so they have gone their separate ways. But they were pretty close, yeah.
Well, there we go. Vosh might be on the border soon.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk has been invited to Vosh's birthday parties. No?
Did you get an invite too? So
I didn't.
Oh, you're not that
Sure,
big
that's
yet.
dramatic.
Okay.
You know what's dramatic? The invasion of the country. We're going to talk more about that. We're going to talk
Invasion.
about how the other side has openly admitted that this is about bringing in voters that they want and they like, and honestly diminishing and decreasing white demographics in America.
White demographics.
We're going to say that part out loud because so many people in the corporate media are afraid to talk
Cringe.
about it. Charlie Kirk here. Check out the Charlie Kirk Show podcast.
Oh,
Be right back.
I wonder why so many are afraid to talk about it. Could it be possibly because, like, you know, they don't want to look like a Nazi? I don't know. I mean, the idea that they're openly saying we're doing this to change demographics. What he's referencing is that a lot of times when the debate about refugees comes up, people will say, hey, diversity is our strength. You know, when we have people from different backgrounds, they have different experiences. And, you know, it's like a really milquetoast talking point. But he translates that into diversity is our strength. Therefore, we are stronger by having less white people. Therefore, this is a grand plan to get rid of the white man so the Democrats can win more elections. That's not what it has to do with at all.
well, I always say when people say the Democrats are trying to get more voter base, it's like, well, why don't you try appealing to conservative or appealing to Hispanic people? If you're the Republicans, you're just gonna take the loss every year and just not do like. Change your fucking platform, you know what I mean?
That's the thing that gets me, is that I don't understand how your party has a historic, at least in the last 40 to 50 years, has an historic problem with certain communities in the United States. And I feel that the reason that they don't want to have policies that will bring in more immigrants, it feels more to me, if you want me to be completely honest, if I just move all the pussyfooting away, so to speak.
Move it away.
It feels more like they think that's what we're doing, and so they're admitting to trying to stop this, not because it's harmful to the country, not because it's gonna hurt anybody really, but because specifically they don't want these people to affect the politics of America, because they know since they have historically negative relationships with these communities, and they have extremely like hardcore immigration policies, they know that these people that are coming in are not going to view this party very favorably, and so they're doing this to control the politics of the country. They're stopping the refugees. They're trying to push them back because they know that most likely the Haitians are not going to vote for the guy who called their country a shithole.
Bro, the fact that he used the word invasion is insane.
Yeah, it's weird because it casts them as an invading army, right?
Yeah, like
I don't know a lot of invasions where you go in with your child in your arms
and hands up.
Yeah, hands up, right? Or we're just a few.
We're here to invade.
Yeah, we're here to invade, and just a few border patrol on horseback is all it takes to like send you scattering. It's like that's a pretty piss poor invasion.
Fuck it.
Well, that's the first clip. Now let's get to the second clip, which
wild one.
Yeah, this is the one with Tucker Carlson.
Have you seen them? I haven't seen these.
I have watched. Yeah, I've free-watched them. Yeah. Okay.
An unrelenting stream of immigration, but why? Well, Joe Biden just said it. To change the racial mix of the country. That's the reason. To reduce the political power of people whose ancestors lived here and dramatically increase the proportion of Americans newly arrived from the third world. And then Biden went further. He said that non-white DNA is the, quote, source of our strength. Imagine.
Okay.
Did he say that?
No, he didn't. He did not say non-white DNA.
Non-white DNA.
Yeah, he was like, we need to fight the real problem in this country, non-white DNA.
White DNA. No, white DNA would be the problem. And we need
white DNA is the problem. Yeah. No, he did not. What he's talking, again, what I said before, it's the diversity is our strength comment. Right? Diversity is a trend. It's a long-standing talking point of like, hey, people with different backgrounds and experiences can contribute to the strength of a country because it's like different perspectives in a company can like contribute to that company succeeding more because you look at it from different perspectives and you can advertise in different markets, and it's just that talking point expanded to a national level. And he's trying to say that we need to get rid of non-white DNA to get stronger. No, he's talking that diversity can contribute to a nation's strength, not that you need to get rid of non-white DNA.
Gotcha.
1 second. Oh my God.
saying that. This is the language of eugenics. It's horrifying. But there's a reason Biden said it. In political terms, this policy is called the Great Replacement, the replacement of legacy Americans with more obedient people from faraway countries.
More obedient.
They brag about it all the time, but if you dare to say it's happening, they will scream at you with maximum hysteria. And here you have Joe Biden confirming his motive on tape with a smile on his face.
Wow.
An unrelenting stream of immigration.
Yeah. It's pretty deliberate. He's pretty deliberate about the whole thing. So the first thing I would say about that clip that gets me is he says great replacement openly. He just says great replacement. He says the conspiracy theory just out loud.
Go to www.greatreplacement.com/Tucker Carlson.
Like, this is the closest he can get before like saying the 14 words, right?
Yeah.
This is really
Bro,
the closest he can get.
The non-white DNA, the fucking what is that shit, bro?
He's talking, it's diversity is our strength. This has been a talking
Cringe.
point for forever. He's just trying to twist the words into something
we
like
listen to
this
the
man
Biden
back
clip?
here. Can we actually, yeah, can somebody in chat find us the Biden clip so we can watch it? But it's not, he doesn't talk about, look, if we get the Haitian DNA, it's going to contribute to an economic production increase of 20%. And if that didn't happen. www.skullshapesmatter.com. The other thing that gets me about it. Wait. Let me see if I can hear it again. 1 moment. Let me see if I can hear it again. Let me play it one more time. Where does he say it?
They brag about it all the time, but if you dare to say it's happening with more obedient people.
More obedient people. That's the quote.
Yeah.
He says more obedient people. What does he mean by that? Is he saying there's more obedient, or has the Democrats openly said they're more obedient? If they have, please send me the clip. I never heard any Democrats say, we need to get the Haitians in because they're more obedient. We need to get the Mexicans in because they're more obedient. I haven't seen that line said. Joe Biden certainly hasn't said that while he's in office.
Maybe he's just projecting his assholiness onto others.
What he's saying is that he believes that the immigrants are going to be obedient to the Democratic Party. But the thing is, this is all just twisting of the words to basically supplement the white nationalist talking point about great replacement. Because the statement is diversity is our strength, and we should welcome them in.
Bro, this is go ahead.
And so he twists it to diversity is a strength, therefore turn that into white DNA is a threat and we need to get rid of it. And then turn it into this is the Democrats trying to vie for political power, because if we bring in these Haitians, we bring in these Mexicans, then they're going to vote for the Democrats, so it's for political power, even though the reason they're going to vote Democrat is because the Republicans say shit like this.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're doing it to yourself.
You're doing it to yourself. Exactly.
Fuck
Because,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure you could probably find people who are coming across the borders like, actually, low taxes are okay. I mean, not all of them. Most likely, they're coming from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, so they're going to be for the Democrats.
Bro, a lot of them are religious.
They're very religious, and so they're going to be for parties that more tie itself to...
They might be anti-abortion.
Yeah, a hardcore religiosity.
Yeah.
Right? But what they're doing is they're basically, from the get-go, making it so these people are never going to support them. But since they already know that, the best strategy they can do is demonize them, keep as many of them out of the country as physically possible, and use them as a scapegoat to scare people for the midterms. I mean, we all saw how the crisis at the border in 2018, right? Remember that? Everybody talked about it as the lead up. Crisis at the border, invasion, Mexicans coming in everywhere. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Even though, again, it was Trump's America that was happening under. So somehow that was supposed to be a talking point to support Trump, even though the crisis was under Trump. But then, right when the midterms were over, I don't know what you're talking about.
What's really fucked up is this is like mainstream conservatism. Again, it's like if on the left, the mainstream positions were getting rid of school mandates or something like that.
Okay, I found the quote from Joe Biden. It's just a tweet. I can just read it out. Our diversity is and has always been our greatest strength as a nation. Donald Trump doesn't get that. We need a president who does. So
that's it.
Yeah, that's the quote.
Oh wow. Really?
Yeah,
really?
he was saying we need to get those obedient Haitians in. We need to, if we get enough Haitians in, we're gonna stop the Republicans from. No, it's just like a diversity is a greatest strength. This has been a milquetoast liberal talking point for years.
Someone says I heard DNA somewhere in there.
Yeah, DNA. There's a D here, there's an A here, and there's an N somewhere in this sentence.
Dad.
Could somebody edit it out, like all the other words? Just have DNA.
White DNA.
Yeah, white
Dad.
DNA. Just type in white. Yeah. Brilliant.
Oh, here's the actual clip from the show. Hang on.
An unrelenting stream of immigration. Non-stop. Non-stop. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America from then and on will be white European stock. That's
Terrible.
not a bad thing.
That's what I was
That's
saying.
a source of our strength.
This is just him reframing, like I said earlier from the tweet. It's just him saying diversity is his strength. He just said it in a different way. They're like, yeah, so we have people from other countries come in. This isn't something to be scared about. It's a source of our strength. He didn't say we're doing this to bring in the obedient Haitians. Everything else is just him implying things that weren't there.
It's so funny. I knew this. When the story came out, I can't remember what paper reported on this. This was literally like from a month and a half ago, where they said like by some year that whites are going to be the minority, and I reported on it right away. I'm like, Lauren Southern's biggest nightmares are going to come true, whatever. I'm surprised it took them this long to start talking about it.
I mean, I guess right now it's because there's the quote unquote like crisis at the border.
I guess,
so
yeah.
they're gonna
They
do
can
it
link it
now
to something.
because they're like, they're linking it to something that's actively happening. Even though Joe Biden right now is being super fucking hawkish on immigration when it comes to Title 42, and he's using Stephen Miller's tactics to deport people during the COVID crisis. Right? He's doing the things like in a lot of ways that they should be in favor of. But it's never going to be enough.
He has a D next to his name.
He has a D next to his name. It's never going to be enough.
Nuts.
Right? And so for me, I don't even think Biden should and I think like the Title 42 stuff might be Biden trying to compromise so he can be like, when the midterms come around, I've actually been pretty aggressive on immigration. Dude, don't try to be a milquetoast Republican. Don't try to be a milquetoast Republican on immigration. Welcome in the refugees. Because the problem with what he's doing with Title 42, this has to do with the Haitian migrants under the bridge that everybody's been talking about. We're deporting people who haven't even had the ability to apply for asylum yet before their cases are seen, before it's talked about. And the reason why Title 42 is supposed to be in extreme cases, it's for like health reasons, right? It's for basically like the idea that this could be a threat to the United States. But the threat that these people are going to face by going back to where they're being sent to is much larger than the chances of them catching COVID. Yeah, it's basically they're using COVID as an excuse. Stephen Miller used a mumps outbreak in 2017.
That would be a good excuse. That would be a good excuse if there was no COVID in the United States.
You know what? That's a good point. It'd be a good excuse that we need to do this to stop COVID if there wasn't already like a huge COVID outbreak in the United States.
Yeah. Interesting. Fuck it out. It's another Wednesday with white nationalists.
Well, that's enough of that nonsense.